In 2016, I had $1,000 to my name sleeping on a gym floor. 9 years later, I broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest selling nonfiction book and generated over $106 million in sales in a weekend.
Most people don't fail in business because they're bad. They fail because they price in the middle.
Either sell extremely expensive stuff to a select few or sell something super cheap to everyone. The middle is where people die. So fundamentally, all businesses have the cost of getting customers and what you make from those customers as the core economic arbitrage that makes a business a business. You have a more efficient way of taking resources and allocating them to get superior throughput on the other side. That's literally what a business is.
The middle is the dead zone. Too expensive for mass buyers, too cheap to build real momentum. Real businesses choose extremes, high ticket to a few or low ticket to many. If you have a 9 to 5 and limited time, high ticket is the fastest path because you need fewer customers.
Why did I start with sell really expensive stuff or sell really cheap stuff? Let's dive in. So having worked with thousands of businesses now, I can tell you that it is significantly easier when you're starting to sell extremely expensive to a select few.
Quick pause here. If what I'm sharing is making sense and you're thinking, okay, but how does this actually work in a real system? I've put together a free training that walks through the exact structure and process we use. It's not theory, it's a behind-the-scenes walkthrough of how the system is set up, how the pieces fit together, and how most of the heavy lifting is already handled, so you're not starting from zero. If you want to see how it's structured and decide for yourself if it's a good fit, the link is in the description. All right, let's jump back in.
And the reason for that is that you have to make enough money to be able to serve the masses. So if you look at Tesla as a great case study for this, Tesla started with a $250,000 Roadster, clearly selling to a select few. And it was like a beta test car. So like it definitely wasn't like completely street ready, all this stuff.
So the next question is, what's the simplest high ticket thing you can sell first?
And so despite what most people believe, one of the simplest ways to create an expensive offer is to sell your time one-on-one, even if it's unscalable. Now I'll give you a personal story and then I'm gonna sell you on why I think this is actually useful. When I started my personal training business, which was a gym on Huntington Beach, I had a client who wanted personal training. Now my gym wasn't a personal training gym. It was a large group training and semi-private training gym. I did all group, there wasn't any one-on-one.
Now remember this rule. The easiest expensive offer is your time. One-on-one is not a long-term plan, it's a short-term cash engine. It gives you cash flow, proof, and real-world feedback fast. And that cash lets you reinvest into growth instead of waiting for perfect.
But this one guy got referred to me because he had some like specific mobility things and like whatever. He liked me and so he ended up doing personal training with me. Now this guy would do 5 days a week of 90-minute training sessions, which is huge for a personal trainer, right? So I'm making, I think I was charging $125 an hour or something. So I was getting almost like $180 a day for that whole period. So I just remember that I got something in the neighborhood of like $4,000 or $5,000 a month in cash. He paid me in cash, it was amazing. That I would get per month from this one client. And the thing is that me having that one-on-one time gave me the cash flow that I needed nothing from the business.
But most people resist this for one reason. They think selling time is for poor people.
Next one that people get hung up on is like, well, I don't want to sell my time because selling your time is what poor people do. Let me learn you some stuff, all right? Which is every single person on planet Earth earns money per hour. They just don't necessarily denote it per hour. But all you have to do is take what you made last year, divide it by 2,000, and guess what? Voila, you have your hourly rate.
Everyone trades time for money, everyone. Salaries hide it, projects hide it, even investing hides it. Take what you earned last year and divide by hours worked, that's your real hourly rate. If you can sell your time at a higher rate than you earn now, you are moving forward.
Which means you worked 40 hours a week, assuming you work 40. And so even if you work project-wise, you spent a certain amount of time on that project and you were remunerated, little fancy word. You got paid based on that work. And so even something like an investment where people are like, well, you know, investors don't trade their time for money. Of course they do. Because you think, oh, Warren Buffett bought this company. He just wrote a check and then that was it. He was done. But what we're not taking into consideration is the amount of analysis that he does on macro markets, the amount of research that he's doing on a regular basis.
And once demand shows up, the next move isn't working more, it's changing supply.
And one of the big lessons that I've learned in terms of making more money is that when you have demand, cut supply. And so when you cut supply, what does that do? Why is the acquisition.com logo two concepts? Leverage, which is a fulcrum, and then a supply-demand curve. Because those are, in my opinion, the two most powerful concepts in business. And so when you have supply and demand at work, which we do, the reason one-on-one is so powerful is because the supply is so contracted, so fixed, it's so small.
When demand rises, amateurs increase availability. Professionals cut supply. Fewer slots forces decisions. Decisions create pricing power. This isn't ego, it's economics.
And so it forces, as long as you don't have limiting beliefs, which is why I'm trying to make this for you, it forces you to raise your price. And so the next one, and this is controversial, you make the money. Nobody else does. If you trade your time for the money, you have 100% margin. It's fantastic. Now, some people are like, well, hey, my hourly rate, it's not though. You're awake. Your hourly rate is the food that kept you alive. That is your hourly rate. Beyond that, the rest of it goes in your pocket. And so what people lack consideration.
Now that you have pricing power, you need an offer that actually deserves the price.
3 different frames to working through this. The frame number 1 is, what if we charged 10x or 100x more than your current thing? What would you include? Just go crazy with it. Just think, if instead of $1,000, if someone gave me $100,000, what would I do? Just write down everything you would do. And then look at the cost of doing all those things. What you'd be amazed by is many of the things that you have these ideas for don't actually cost that much.
Use the 10x and 100x frame. Ask, if this was 10x the price, what would I include? If it was 100x, what would make this undeniable? Remove hard costs. Keep leverage, access, speed, attention, certainty. Then make it available, even if only a small percentage buys.
And so cross out the ones that have hard costs and then look at what's left and then say, well, I think I could do that. And then we ask the question, would you be okay doing that for $1,000 or $10,000? You might say like, well, yeah, for 10 grand, I would do that. Make it available. The second way to think about this is, if I had to make a service or a product that was only grown off of word of mouth alone, and all you have is this one customer in front of you, and the only way that you will be able to get more customers is if you get that customer to tell their friends.
But the offer only works if it's built for the right buyer, not your current cheap buyer.
Steps, very straightforward. Pick the right avatar. Do not try to make your unscalable, expensive thing and then think about the person who's currently buying your thing for $100 and think, what would this $100 person be willing to spend $1,000 for? Do not think that. Likely, the person that's gonna spend the $1,000 is a different person. So you have to think about that person, not the person underneath. Next, once you have this avatar, they have the money, they feel the pain, they're easy to reach, right? Then we have to think, how can we describe their pain?
Your $1,000 buyer is not your $100 buyer. Pick an avatar who has money, feels the pain, and wants speed. Then stop guessing their pain, use their exact words, pull language from reviews in your niche, and mirror it back. If you describe their problem better than they can, they assume you can solve it
more accurately than they can describe it themselves. And so the big hack, and this is also new with some of the AI stuff that's out there, is go into the books that people are buying in your niche and then extract the reviews and then get the quotes that are specific to their pain. And so one of the really interesting things about copy is that if you can articulate someone's problem better than they can, they will inherently believe that you can solve it.
And once your message is specific, the final lever that multiplies value is speed. People don't buy your time, they buy an outcome. Speed increases perceived value more than almost anything else. Cut delivery time, add priority, reduce friction, make it easier to win. Wealthy buyers pay to save time, not money. That's how you stop competing on price and start operating at the top. If you like this video, gently hit the like button. If you dislike this video, then share with your friends and family. Because whether you liked it or not, it could be helpful to your friends and family and your social media contact. And if you think we are doing our best to try and explain to you how you can change your life, and you want to watch the next video, then make sure you subscribe to our channel and switch on the notification bell button. And make sure you ask your friends and family and social media contacts to subscribe to our channel, switch on the notification bell button as well. This way, you will help us get 10,000 subscribers in next 3 months. To learn more money techniques, watch these videos, and we will see you on the next one.